So the big question is this: how do young men like us, who didn't listen to society, who are on our own, how do we grow and improve ourselves so that we can live a better tomorrow? That is the question, and this show will give you the answers. My name is James Radzinski, and this is the Ascend Momentum Show. Welcome back, everybody. So today was a pretty good day. I didn't email all 20 people yet. I've only emailed 3 so far. But I decided to organize my list and actually use a spreadsheet, because that is what I believe it was Garrett J. White who recommended this. I'm pretty sure he said to write out your Dream 100 list on a spreadsheet and actually write their emails down. So I took it a step further and made a spreadsheet with the headlines of business name. Okay, wait, let me just explain first. This is my Dream 100 list, which is all of my local businesses that are my dream customers. So far I only have maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So far I only have 13, but this will grow every single day. And I'm making a spreadsheet with all of their information on it. So it's a Google Sheets document, and the first heading is business name, and then the next is address, and then website, and then phone number, and then did I contact their phone number, notes, and then the notes about that call, and then email, and then did I contact that email, notes about that, and then extra, which is just extra notes. And the last section is it a dud? And I've only gotten one dud so far, and it was the person that I called, and she actually scheduled a meeting to talk in like 2 hours. I called her this morning, and then I went to the meeting on the phone, and she wasn't interested. So that was close, and I'm happy that happened because that was awesome. I got one person to schedule a meeting. So I want to tell you guys something. I want to tell you the story of Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's. So he was, and by the way, I'm telling you this off memory, so don't quote me on all this. I'm just telling you a story of how I remember it. He was a salesperson, and he was selling an ice cream maker. And he went to this one restaurant to try and sell ice cream to, and that restaurant was called Max Donald. And that experience really sparked something in him, because what he saw when he went to that restaurant, he saw something that day, a vision, because when he went to that restaurant, he saw something that could be replicated, and he saw something that can be expanded and scaled. And unfortunately, the actual owners of the restaurants, of the one restaurant, did not have that same vision. So I'm pretty sure that he did not end up selling them an ice cream maker, but he went back home and came up with a plan. And he met with them to try and set up a franchising business where he would sell the license to a McDonald's, and someone would set up the whole shop exactly the same. And he would just sell, so many of those. And that worked because that first restaurant was perfect. It was automated. Everything flowed correctly. So all he had to do was replicate it. And he would just sell it to another person and they would run it for him. Eventually he bought out the business and rebranded it to McDonald's. And that's what we know today, McDonald's. But why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because when I was writing my spreadsheet, I was writing down a business that I contacted yesterday morning. And I contacted them, and I didn't really think anything of it. I just emailed them. I emailed them if I could build them a funnel. They haven't responded. And then today, when I was building the spreadsheet and writing down that business's name, something struck in me. I believe it was the same spark that was lit inside of Ray Kroc that one day. And what I saw, I can see this restaurant scaling because this restaurant, it has a special feeling. It gives people a special feeling when they go there, and it's in our town. It's a special restaurant. It gives us a special feeling, and we keep returning time and time again. And it's not really that big. And so they only have one restaurant, and I think that I could buy it for less than $1 million. Now, I see this whole vision in my head of me scaling their business. First of all, buying it and then scaling it on, like, not scaling it, but first of all buying it and then making the first restaurant efficient and optimal, and then I scale, and then franchise it, and then it'll be a worldwide brand. And I really see this. I can see this vision. I can feel it, and I feel good. So I want to tell you guys something. In reality transurfing, there's a topic that he introduced called the unity of the heart and mind, and it's pretty much where your heart and your mind agree that this is the right path for you in the future. And the only way for your heart to agree, because the heart has access to all of time and can see all of the future opportunities, the heart must agree. And if the heart agrees, then that's huge. And if the heart and the mind both agree, then that is your path. And I've never felt that before. And then I really felt that last Tuesday when I was thinking about emailing local businesses and to build them a funnel. And then I felt it again yesterday. Or no, not even yesterday. Today, when I was thinking about this restaurant that I can scale, just like Ray Kroc did. Now, all of this being said, and I only have $400 in my bank account and no income. But I know that I can save $1 million and purchase this restaurant and this whole brand that they have made. I believe I can purchase the entire company. I just have to start making money, and then it'll be off to the races from there. So my plan is to email as many businesses today as possible to build them a funnel. The first one I'll do it for free, and then once I get some success, I'll build funnels for businesses for free until I get some success or someone offers to pay me, obviously. But I'll do it for free until I get success, and then once I succeed, then I'll charge a lot of money. I'll charge probably $10,000 at first, and then I'll charge $50,000, and then $100,000, and then higher and higher. And then eventually I'll just charge part ownership or part part profit share. So they would have to give me part of the profit if I build them a funnel. And I was listening to Russell Brunson speak, and he was talking about this thing called the Midas touch. If you guys have never heard the story, this guy named Midas, he would touch something and it would turn to gold. So I touched this pen and the pen would turn to gold. And Russell Brunson has the Midas touch. He said, people always ask me, why am I still on this business? Why don't I just retire? Why don't I enjoy life now? Start to retire and then explore the world or whatever, this and that. And he said, because I have the Midas touch. Every time I touch a business, it turns to gold. I can transform a business, and that is the most fun thing in the world. Why would I ever walk away from that? And I really believe that I can get a piece of that. I think that I know I can get the Midas touch. It's just a matter of time. And emailing these people is the first step. Okay, there's where I'm at in my current business right now. But I want to tell you guys one thing. This past week, I spent 2 or 3 or 4 hours in the basement on my computer every single day watching a webinar. And then on Saturday, yesterday, because I record these episodes in advance, yesterday, this webinar, the last day of the webinar, lasted 6 hours from 10 to 4, and it was still going on. And so I just got off and I just needed a break. So then I spent an hour at the park today with my friend catching up because I hadn't seen him for a week. And today I took my dog on a walk. I can't say it out loud because my dog is sitting next to me and she gets really excited. I took her on a W, and that's what we call a walk, a W. So she doesn't know. And I took her on one for an hour, shirtless and shoeless, across town. And I'm feeling good. I'm pushing forward, and I know that I'm on the right path. I want to tell you guys one thing that I did. So because at first I was so nervous and anxious to cold call a company, I wrote down a script and then I just read it out because I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to blank. I'll tell you this script. And when I say it, when I actually call someone and say it, I'm a lot more nervous than I am now. And I say, hey, this is James. I've been doing some research on local businesses that I could help out, and I would love to help bring customers in the door using a sales funnel. Do you think that I could get the email of the owner of the business? And that is literally the worst. I'm thinking right now that's the worst script ever. That's the worst script ever. So, and I just realized that now after like five to ten cold calls. So I'm tearing out a sheet of paper so I can, actually no, I'm just gonna use the same script that I use in my email. And I'll read the email to you that I've been sending to people. I just copy and paste it and then change the company to an actual name. So I'll read it to you. Dear company, my name is James Radzinski, and I have been studying sales funnels for the past couple of months. I'm writing to you because I would love the opportunity to build you a sales funnel. This would help grow your company by pushing leads through a sales page and converting them into customers. I'm just trying to put my skills to the test, so I would not charge anything. However, if this does turn out successful, which I am confident it will, then I will be charging a lot of money in the future for my services. Excuse me. So, you have the opportunity to get it free before I charge a premium. Oh, I have the hiccups now. Now, I am just starting off. So, I do not have the same skill level as this person, but to put into context how valuable sales funnels are, Russell Brunson is the CEO of ClickFunnels, and he would charge someone over $1 million to build a funnel for them. I'm actually going to edit that right now and say to build a funnel for their business. Okay, now next. While my skill is not to the caliber of Russell Brunson, I still believe I could make a big difference for your life and your company. This is a batch email sent to many local businesses. So let me repeat. Currently this offer is free, but you have to act fast before I start charging a premium. Let me know if you are interested. Email me at, and then it's my email. And then I say, and we will get in touch to discuss further. Thanks for your time, James Radzinski. So, that's it. That's the email. And I'm just copy and pasting. I'm using this website. It's like my town's local business directory. And it's just a directory of all the local businesses. And it's very useful because it's just a website that someone put together, probably the village put together. And it's literally just all of the local brick and mortar businesses, restaurants, health services, everything. All the local brick and mortar businesses are on this website. And so I just scroll through, find one that could potentially be my dream customer, and I get their information, type it all down in my spreadsheet, my Dream 100 spreadsheet, and then I just email them. And if they don't have an email, I call them. And I'll be honest, all of this stuff that I've been doing lately, while it's getting easier, when I first started yesterday, I was so nervous, and it took me a lot of balls to actually start. And I'll say, I wrote down on a sheet of paper, do it now. I actually did this like 2 or 3 podcasts ago. I actually wrote it live. And every time I am nervous, I just look at that, and then I just do it now. And also there's one thing I'll tell you guys. Have you guys heard of the law of attraction? If not, it's basically, I'm pretty sure it's where if you think of something, you'll attract that thing. So that's a pretty common, popular law that a lot of people know. And there's one thing that not very many people know, and it's called the law of advancement. And it's pretty much where anything that goes down will come up, or before you can go up, you must go down. And this applies to everything, even in nature. So let me tell you something. Think a house. In order to build a house, you have to dig out a hole in order to pour the foundation in. And once you dig out that hole, which is going down, you can start to build up and pour the foundation and then build the house. Now, I want you to think of a seed, a tree seed. So, if you want to go down, if you want that, or if that seed wants to start growing into a tree, it can't just go straight up and turn into a tree. It must go down first and spread its roots before it can actually go up. And that's the law of attraction. So let me tell you another story. There are two eagles. They're married. One says, "Oh, we're pregnant." And then the man is like, "Oh, that's amazing to hear. Let's go build a nest." So they go on top of the tree and they build a nest. And then they have 4 eaglets, 4 baby eagles. And every day the mother flies over to the nest. Woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. Flies, flaps her wings. Woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. Very loud, very powerful wings. Flies over to the nest with food and feeds them food. And then the babies are like saying to their mother, "Hey, can you teach us how to fly? That's awesome. I want to learn how to fly." And the mother's like, "No, not today, honey." And then this repeats. Woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. The mother flies to the nest, brings some food. "Hey, can you teach us how to fly?" "Not today, honey." This repeats for 20 days. And then on the 20th day, woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. She brings them some more food, and the kid is like, "Mom, can you teach us how to fly?" And then she's like, "Not today, but tomorrow will be your first lesson." So tomorrow rolls by, they're all excited, they can't sleep, and the mother comes and picks the first person to fly. They're all super excited, they all want to go first, but she picks the first person. That baby gets, that baby eagle gets on the mother's back, and she starts flying, and the baby is like, "Higher, higher, mommy, higher, mom." And then the mom goes higher and higher and higher, flies higher and higher, and then suddenly, whoa, the mother drops the eagle. And then the baby eagle is like falling down, super scared, like, "Mommy, why'd you do that? I'm falling." And then suddenly, right before the eagle touches the ground, swoop, the mother saves the eagle and brings him back to the nest. And she does the training lessons with all 4 of the babies. And the next day, they're all trying to plan a mutiny. They're all like, "Mom, we're leaving. We're not doing this." And then the mom says, you are practicing today because it's time for lessons for the next day." And she's like, "You're doing it." And then they're like, "No, no." And then she's like, "You're doing it." And then after a little bit of this back and forth, the mother puts her foot down and says, "You are doing it now." And then the baby is like, "Okay," and then gets on her back, and the same thing happens. She flies high, 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 and then drops the baby eagle down. And right before that baby eagle hits the ground, she swoops up and saves him again. And this happens for 20 days. All the eagles get training for 20 days, and then on the 21st day, the mother picks the first person to go. They fly high, high, high. The baby does not want to be up there. The baby is scared, terrified, scared to death. And then the mother drops the baby eagle, and then suddenly the eagle's wings caught the wind caught the eagle's wings just perfectly, and the baby eagle, started to fly, started to glide, and the eagle was able to fly home back to the nest on its own. And then the next lesson for the baby eagle's brother, it happened the same thing, and then they were all able to fly. So, why am I telling you this? Well, let me tell you one thing. The eagle didn't learn how to fly by going straight up. Like when the mother taught the eagle, or when the mother was first starting the lesson, she would fly the eagle upwards on its back. We don't learn how to fly by just flying up on another person's back. You learn how to fly by falling down and then going back up. And that makes a U. So you have to fall in order to fly. That's why the mother dropped the eagle for 20 times. So you have to fall down and go back up to be able to fly. So that U shape is actually called the learning curve. And let me tell you one thing. 100% of the eagles succeed in learning how to fly. Now let me tell you another thing. Only 3% of humans get past that learning curve. Only 3% of humans learn how to fly. Now why is this? It's because we have choice. We choose to drop back in fear of falling, even though we're completely safe and Mother Eagle will swoop up and save us. There is no danger in us learning something. We are fearing so much that falling feeling. We fear so much that uncomfortable feeling, that feeling of discomfort, that we choose not to take action. And that is a shame. And to be honest, I am the same way. I'm human. And so that's why I wrote down this story, and I memorized this story, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper, wrote down the picture of the story, and wrote down, remember the eagles. And I keep that piece of paper on my desk. And every time I find myself in an uncomfortable position, when I'm about to learn something new, or when I'm about to cold call a local business, when I'm about to do anything uncomfortable, I just say to myself, remember the eagles, do it now. And then I do it. And I tell you all this because this is an amazing tool for you guys to have. If you just remember the eagles, you'll be able to succeed. And I'm going to prove that to you by succeeding. Right now, nobody's listening to this podcast. But soon, people are going to be coming back to the beginning episodes of my podcast and see where I was before I was successful. And you guys will be able to see the little things, the little tools that I used along the way. And since I'm making a huge portion of this episode dedicated towards this story, it's an important one. So, whenever you guys find yourself in an uncomfortable position, make it a habit to remember. That's one thing. It's one thing to remember something, and it's another thing to actually remember something when it's important. So you can remember the eagles when someone reminds you of it, but you have to be able to remember it when you're in an uncomfortable position, when you're about to cold call someone. You have to remember the eagles. You have to make it a habit to remember the eagles when it matters. So, if you guys leave with nothing from this episode except for one thing, make sure that one thing is to remember the Eagles. Remember the Eagles and do it now. Man, that was a very good episode. And I'm very excited for my future. And I'm very excited for seeing where this local business that I might purchase turns out. I want to see where that turns out. See if I even decide to do it. And I also want to see where this little thing comes out. So I want to tell you guys why I'm actually emailing local businesses to build them a... What is that noise? What the heck? Oh yeah, I think it stopped. Sorry guys. So, the reason why I'm building these local businesses, why I'm emailing these local businesses, is so I can build them a funnel. And I'm doing it for free for two reasons. One, so I can actually get success without feeling guilty to charge anyone. And two, it is an amazing way to build my skill and expand my comfort zone. This is one of the most uncomfortable things that I'm doing right now. And I really feel that it's the path, because if I can build this skill, Russell Brunson taught me, if I can build this skill, I will be successful in life. And like he said, pick one mentor and go after it. Only focus on that one mentor. So I'm listening to him, and I'm going to build some funnels for some local businesses. And then once I get good, actually not even once I get good, I'm going to charge them the second I get a successful funnel up. I'm going to charge them the second I get a successful funnel up. And then I'll be able to make some big money, and then I'll buy this restaurant. It's not actually a restaurant, but I'm going to tell you guys it's a restaurant just because I'll tell you guys it's a restaurant just to keep it not safe, but to keep it under the radar so nobody really knows until I actually decide to make a purchase, because I'm trying to keep it under the radar. But with that being said, this was a very good episode. Remember the Eagles. Have a great day. Also, I just realized, and I'm glad I remembered, I'm going to start doing an outro. So I'm going to write down my outro right now on a piece of paper, and then I'm going to say it to you guys. I'll actually make my outro right now. So let's brainstorm. What can I say? I'm ripping that piece of paper, so watch out your ears. Alright, there we go. What should I say? I'm going to say, first of all, I want to incorporate Remember the Eagles, because that is kind of, I realize now that could become my thing. Remember the Eagles. And that's how important it is to me once I heard that. And I literally just heard that story yesterday. I learned that story yesterday. That's how crazy this is. So, first of all, outro. Remember the Eagles. Alright, let me just write down what I want in my outro. One thing that I want is remember the Eagles. And then the second thing I want is a call to action to follow the show. Let me look up good call to actions for podcasts. This is literally I'm being so open about this. I'm literally telling you guys exactly what I'm about to say in my outro. I'm really documenting my process here so you guys can replicate it. So here, rss.com made a post, how to create effective calls to action in your podcast. And if you guys don't know what call to action is, basically saying to your viewer or your dream customer what to do. Basically telling them what to do. So in like a perfect webinar, it would be, make sure to purchase this thing or something like that. It's basically telling them what to act upon. Calling them to act. Call to action. So the RSS.com posted, check out the link in the description, subscribe to my show, click the notification button, comment on our website, visit the episode's show notes. I'm pretty sure I saw another day that downloads are an incredibly effective way to build your show. So my call to action is going to say, subscribe to my show, subscribe to my show, and then it's also going to say, alright, here, download this video, or download, alright, I also want to say download this, how should I say this? Download this episode. Okay, here I have it. Don't forget, and with that, alright, here's the script. And with that, don't forget to download your favorite episodes and subscribe to the Ascend Momentum Show. And with that, alright, here it is. And with that, don't forget to download your favorite episodes and subscribe to the Ascend Momentum Show. But I also want to incorporate Remember the Eagles. So how should I say this? So that was my call to action, my outro call to action. Now I want my final words on every podcast to be, remember the Eagles. Remember the Eagles. So how should I connect that call to action to remember the Eagles? So I'm thinking of some possible bridges that I can use here. And with that, don't forget to download your favorite episodes and subscribe to the Ascend Momentum Show. But before you guys leave, don't... okay, here, I have it. But before you guys leave, don't forget, should it be don't forget to remember? But before you guys leave, oh, here we go. But before you guys leave, make sure to remember the Eagles. So let me think. Let me say it real quick. And with that, don't forget to download your favorite episodes and subscribe to the Ascend Momentum Show. But before you guys leave, make sure to remember the Eagles.